Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. I'm going to share some stuff that I've really been into over the last couple of months. There are some beauty as well as some non-beauty favorites in here. A couple of misses, some products that just haven't really been doing it for me. So I'll be chatting about those as well towards the end of the video. But let's start off on a high note with some skincare. I used up my SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore, which is like my favorite winter moisturizer, and I have switched over to kind of like my warm weather, not really warm because it's still, it's still pretty cold out, but you know what I mean. Switched over to something a little bit lighter for the warmer season ahead, and I've talked about this moisturizer before. I love it so much. This is the Reversa Collagenique cream. Reversa is a Canadian brand. Even though I don't live in Canada anymore, I live pretty close to the border. I think Reversa is pretty much only available in Canada, but for all my Canadian friends out there, go to Shoppers and check out this moisturizer, especially if you have a similar skin type. It's really well balanced. It's the perfect blend of moisture and hydration. It's not oily, it's not greasy. There's no added fragrance. There are no essential oils in it. It's definitely lighter in texture than the SkinCeuticals. I wouldn't really call them comparable or dupes or anything, but this is just, if the SkinCeuticals is my go-to winter moisturizer, this would be like my go-to spring and fall moisturizer. In the summertime, I use this, I can use this at night, but most of the time in the summertime, to be honest, if my skin is oily, I don't even use a moisturizer during the day. I have mixed feelings about this. Basically, I hate how much I love it because it is a very, very pricey product, and it's the Mer Treatment Lotion. It's basically a hydrating essence. So it's, very, very liquidy. The texture of it is somewhere in between a water and a serum. In general, a lot of the products I've tried from Mer they've been really nice, but they haven't really been products that I would run out and repurchase right away. This is the first product from Mer that I've tried that makes me feel like, oh my God, I'm going to want to repurchase this right away. My skin has just been better since I've incorporated this into my routine, and it's so hydrating. It makes my skin really, really soft. I could swear it has improved the texture of my skin over time. It has just been a joy to use. I use this morning and night. On some winter days when my skin was really, really dehydrated, I just used multiple layers of this on my face, and it just layered beautifully, and it just made my skin feel so plump and juicy. I could just use this and forgo a hydrating moisturizer if I really wanted to have a minimal routine. This has since been reformulated, so I have not tried the new formula yet. I've tried a couple of essences that contained like witch hazel or acids, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for strictly like hydrating, antioxidant rich essence. And this is what this is. I heard the Make Beauty essence is really good. So I'm planning on expanding my horizons and trying some other ones and see how they compare. But this has been phenomenal. Out of every skincare product that I've tried from Mer, this has been my absolute favorite so far. When it comes to base makeup, the bulk of my days have been spent just using the foundations in my project pan. But on the days in which I wanted to switch things up, the one thing that really stood out to me has actually been this combination, and it's the Fenty Eaze Drop Skin Tint with a little bit of the Rose Ink Concealer just on, areas of hyperpigmentation where I wanted a little bit more coverage. And these two together have just been such a gorgeous combination. I really don't like this concealer under my eyes. I just don't find it flattering with what I've got going on there. But as an all-over concealer, it's really, really juicy and creamy, and it has really solid coverage. A really, really great combination. It's been a standout for me. In terms of blush, these two have been my most used blushes over the last 2 months. My cream blush, the Tower 28 Magic Hour. This is what I go for if I want a more like a soft pink, warm nude type of look. You can watch this when I did my date night, my spring date night makeup tutorial. I did kind of like a nude pink look, and I used this blush if you want to see it in action. Recently, in the last couple weeks, I've really been into the Hermes Rose Tan Blush. This is what I have on today. Just like a nice warm orange. As we get closer to warmer weather, I'm starting to crave more of those warm, peachy, pink looks. Been busting this out again, and I really, really enjoy it. I've also been loving the Becca bronzer. Rest in peace, this product is discontinued and no longer exists. But the Becca bronzer in Capri Coast is just such a gorgeous bronzer, and I will be really sad when I finally use this up. This just has the perfect warm tone. I love the finish of it. It's not quite matte, but it's also not shimmery by any means. It just gives like a nice soft warm glow. When it comes to eyeshadow, I've had like two main moods. The first mood is the same combination that I actually talked about in my January favorites video, and that has still been on heavy rotation just because it's so easy. So when I'm in the mood for something just like a warm champagne type of thing, Chantecaille Sylvie eyeshadow all over the lid with a little bit of the Bobbi Brown Golden Peach just in the center of the eyelid for just a little bit of a gleam. But if I want something a little more neutral, a little maybe taupey, slightly more cool toned, I have been loving the Sisley eyeshadow stick. This is in shade number 16. This is just a gorgeous matte taupe. I've been lining my eyes with this, both on the lower lid and on the upper lid, and then blending it out either with my finger or this Rephr brush. It just blends out these stick shadows so nicely. I actually did this with Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Amethyst as well, and it looked really good. So the Amethyst is just a little bit more purple and has some shimmer in it, while this is just like a straight up matte taupe brown. But this brush, it's like a finger essentially, but it's a little bit more gentle than just using the fingers. I feel like if I want a little less pressure and a more diffused blend, this brush has been great. This is the number 12 brush. And it's just a really dense domed brush, but it does such a good job at blending out these shadow sticks. So I'm feeling like a little shadow stick revival for me. I feel like I'm kind of in the mood to rediscover my shadow sticks, and maybe you will be too if you have shadow sticks that you've been neglecting. But yeah, I just love blending out a shadow stick with this brush. It's been really great. Sometimes I just leave it at that, but if I want a little bit more on the eye, the Chantecaille Eye Quartet in Giraffe has just been, I don't know, it's neutral. It's just my kind of neutral, really. I like that it's not too warm. It's not like too orangey or anything like that. And I actually did a little comparison swatching this color against the Chantecaille Sylvie, because they do seem to be, quite similar. But if you see them in the swatch, the one in the Giraffe Quartet is a little bit more cool toned, whereas the Sylvie one has also some sheen to it and it's a bit warmer. So when I'm in the mood for something a little bit more neutral to cool, my everyday go-to has just been using this color all over the lid with a fluffy brush and then just dabbing my finger in this frosty glittery shade, and it's such a pretty gleam. That's what I have on today. If I want to take things a little bit smokier, I can just, dab my brush into this and put this on the outer corner and then add a little bit of this color for more of that like metallic taupey top coat. But I've just been really into this quad. It's just been so easy, and it's hard to get like a nice cutaway of it because it's so reflective. I really don't like mirrored eyeshadow packaging. It kind of drives me crazy, but it's really pretty. Another eye product that I've been loving ever since I bought it is the Sweed pencil in Bright. I don't even remember if I talked about this in my January favorites. I probably did. With me, you're getting like genuine favorites, genuinely products that I've used the most since the last time I did a favorites video. And sometimes they overlap, because if something is really good and I really love it and I'm still in the mood to use it daily, I'm still using it daily. So love this. I bought it because my friend Dina raved about it when we did our 2021 yearly favorites, and I've been using this almost every single day. It's just the perfect brightening pencil for the lower waterline. I just feel like it instantly makes me feel and look more polished and more awake. It's a great daytime eye makeup tool. I also have a new mascara primer favorite. Now, you know I really love the Peri Para Fixer. I have been using this for the last 6 or 7 months, and it's a great product if you have lashes that struggle holding a curl. This really helps. You know, I curl my lashes, I apply this primer, and I find that it helps my lashes hold a curl better throughout the day. I buy this from Yes Style, and last time I was placing a Yes Style order, my this was just back ordered. It just showed that it would take a long time to get here. I added this to my cart because this had a better availability, and I've really been enjoying this. This is the Heroine Make Curl Keep Mascara Base, and in terms of performance, the performance is on par with the Peri Para Fixer, but I like the wand better. The Heroine Make wand is smaller and it's slightly curved, whereas the Peri Para is more of like a traditional straight, just like a straight tapered mascara wand. So for my eye shape and for you know, my main concern, which is, you know, lifting and holding a curl, this just gets in there better. I still love both. They still work great, but this has the edge because the wand just suits my eye a little bit better. Next, I have to give a shout out to the Fitglow Beauty Night Lip Serum. This has only been in my life for a week, but I am loving it so much. It has definitely met my expectations, even exceeded them a little bit. I have been wanting to try this ever since I started watching State of Kait's videos. She swears by this lip treatment. I wanted a new overnight lip balm lip treatment, and I hate stuff that comes in jars. So like By Terry Baume de Rose, the Laneige sleeping mask, I don't like stuff that comes in a jar. This came and I've been using it overnight and it is amazing. It instantly feels moisturizing and it actually stays on the lips. Sometimes with like lip balms, if I wear them overnight, I don't feel them on my lips in the morning. I like something that stays on the lips, but that doesn't run and doesn't get all sticky and icky. So the texture of this is absolutely perfect. I wake up in the morning, my lips feel significantly more moisturized. I like the smell too. It's like a faint vanilla scent. It's not offensive. It doesn't taste weird or anything, and I have just been so happy with it. My previous favorite overnight lip balm was the Clarins Hydra Essential Lip Balm. That one was really good too. This one is a little bit better than that. That one is still great. That one is like slightly more waxy. This one feels slightly more nourishing. I also wanted to give another shout out to the Olay hand wash. I think I talked about this in my last favorites video too, but I got to try a different scent this time because my previous love, the Orange Blossom, has been out of stock, and I was like, hey, let's just try the Hibiscus and see if it's any good. And I have to say I love this just as much as the Orange Blossom. I don't find the scent to be that different. So, you know, overall, my scent description of this hand soap is still like a fresh, fruity floral. So the Orange Blossom is like maybe a slightly more fruity, whereas this is slightly more floral, but the difference is like negligible, I would say. And this is just an awesome hand soap. If you're looking for a new hand soap that's really gentle, it just makes me happy. Every time I wash my hands, I'm like, oh, this is such a nice hand soap. In terms of some non-beauty favorites, I do have, the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually YouTube Premium. And I keep meaning to talk about this in my favorites video because I think about how much I love YouTube Premium often, and it's essentially just YouTube without ads. And if you are somebody that consumes a lot of YouTube content, let me tell you, YouTube Premium is worth every penny. I was on the fence for years whether or not I should get it because it's, you know, it's an added monthly expense. But to be honest, I watch YouTube more than like Netflix or Hulu or HBO or whatever. YouTube is like part of my daily routine. I like to watch like YouTube videos when I'm getting ready. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, but on YouTube. And with the YouTube Premium, you can close your phone and still have whatever video is playing. You can still have the sound playing on in the background. You can download videos. you know, if you're getting on a flight or if you're taking the subway or a train or something that has spotty internet service, you can download videos to your phone so you can watch them later when you don't have any signal. If you've been also on the fence about YouTube Premium, and if you consume a lot of YouTube content, having it be like ad-free, the experience is just so much more pleasant. I did finish one book that has just stayed on my heart and haunted me in the best way possible, and I don't have it physically here to show you because I was reading it on my Kindle. It's a book called Pachinko. And if you like historical fiction and like multi-generational family drama, you will really like that book. The more books I read and the more I kind of learn about my preferences, my favorite genre tends to be historical fiction. Just kind of follows multiple generations of this family as they moved from Korea to Japan during World War II, and you know, a little bit before World War II and a little bit after World War II as well, and really felt so connected to this family and to their experience. It's a really great book, so I enjoyed it. I thought I would shout it out. It's the kind of book that stays with you after you read it, and it makes you think. It makes you think about the actual historical events that took place in that time. And then the book that I'm reading right now has actually been on my to-read list for a long time, but it just felt like it might just be daunting because it's like science-y sort of, but I started reading it this month and I'm really enjoying it. It's the book Sapiens. It's like a book about the human species, essentially. It's written in a really easily digestible way. It's not as heavy of a read as other like science-y types of books that I've read in the past. Quite easy to follow and like quite entertaining to read in a way. So it just kind of covers the history of Homo sapiens, you know, as we evolved over time. It talks a lot about, you know, the agricultural revolution when humans first started farming the land 12,000 years ago and the implications on the environment, and it's very interesting. So I am enjoying this. And finally, I've got some disappointing products to share, starting with this primer. This is the YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer, and the description of this is so lofty. You know, it's supposed to hydrate. It's supposed to give you a pore blurs, you know, blurred pores, great, you know, flawless foundation application, radiance, all that good stuff. It's not radiant whatsoever. I mean, it's got like little shimmering particles of gold floating through it, but I don't find that it imparts any extra radiance to my skin. And it's just essentially like a clear silicone-y primer. It really reminds me of the original Smashbox primer. Remember when that came out, the clear revolutionary Smashbox primer? That's kind of what this is. And I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not like nothing mind-blowing. I don't feel like when I use this, it makes a significant difference in my makeup application. You know, it does smooth the complexion upon initial application because that's what silicone does. But I don't know, I just can't say that it's been remarkable, life-changing in any way. And yeah, it's just kind of been there. The other product is also a primer, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. Now, I had tried little samples of this in the past, and I don't hate it, but again, it's just not, it's not the best radiant boosting priming product I've ever tried. I find that when I use this and I look at my face, I can see the shimmer particles in it just kind of sitting on my skin. It does feel nice. The feeling of this on the skin, it's almost like the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Primer, but that one doesn't have like visible glitter particles. It's been kind of a letdown in addition to this. And then the other product that's just been whatever has been the Briogeo Scalp Revival Charcoal plus Tea Tree Cooling Hydration Scalp Mask. A very long name, but this is essentially a clay mask for your scalp. Doesn't really do anything. Like when I use this, I don't notice a difference whatsoever. Now, you know, it could just be me. We all have different scalp concerns. We all have different hair types, skin types. We all have different experiences with products, which is why the online beauty community is so beautiful. We can all kind of share, you know, exchange ideas and experiences. But this for me hasn't been doing anything, to be honest. I like the smell. I actually really like the matching shampoo. Like, this shampoo is fantastic. When I use these together, I don't notice any better results than when I just use this by itself. The Scalp Revival Micro Exfoliating Shampoo is actually really good. It's a shampoo with, it smells so good. It's like a sweet minty scent. It smells like gum in the best way possible, like spearmint. This has like scrubbing particles in it, but it's quite gentle. It's not as harsh of a scrub as the Christophe Robin scalp scrub. I also found that this is quite gentle, and it hasn't impacted my hair color at all. So I've just kind of been alternating this shampoo with my Olaplex purple shampoo, and this just does a really good job at kind of clearing things out, you know, any dry shampoo and any hair oils that get aggregated in there throughout the days. This just kind of helps clear everything up, and it's been really nice. But the matching scalp mask hasn't really been making a difference. I think I've talked your ear off enough. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching my current favorite products. Let me know what you've been into in the comment section below. As always, I really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.